I wanna be in your life until the night is over. I wanna hold you so tight, coming closer. Hold you for life. So tight, coming closer. I'm feeling vibes on vibes. I'm freaking dynamite. I blow your candle lights. You know I'm just that type. No, them no big kill my vibe. Them no big kill my vibe. Them no big kill. Them no big kill. Them no big kill my eyes are set. Follow the stars. Then you shall find us. Come back fine. If you hit your enemies shine. If you're not a friend of me, enter the light. Cause you can never kill my vibe. Okay, we don't sacrifice it. Everything won't take it. You have to make it. Vibe killer. Me and you go take shit. Vibe killer. I'm feeling vibes alright. I'm feeling dynamite. I play up and all night. You know I'm just that type. So nothing kill my vibe. Nothing kill my vibe. Nothing kill my vibe. I see you watching my story. I see you getting my lifestyle. I see you watching my movement. It's that big fight every day. I know they look at your face. Bad man bad every day. You need some praise. Beauty in your face. Somebody don't take my energy. I'm no candle. My boss no see. I like everything I desire. What is it? My rhythm. You're like everybody. If you can't go out, come on, pass it down. I go just para. Come on, find it down. I go just follow my dreams. I'm feeling vibes all night. I'm feeling dynamite. I play your candle light. You know I'm just that guy. So nothing kill my vibe. Nothing kill my vibe. Nothing kill. Nothing kill. Nothing kill my vibe. You see my bitch, say she had bad. Anytime I knock it out. No rubber band, no rubber band. Every time I put down, you show me that. If I know that, she got my back. But I'm happy that. Although you, everything I do is for my woman. Anything I talk, when you talk, I go do. Me, I know there's another girl for my visuals. Loving you, now my ritual. Baby, not the way that you talk and the things that you say, but it make you feel alright. The vibe and the type that I love in your face. Tell me what. Yo, what's good with it, fam? Welcome to the 1000bce podcast. Please like and subscribe. Welcome back. What's good with it, fam? So we got Dasha Reb in the building. Salute, bro. What's good with it, man?
I don't know how they be doing that Avatar shit. Was good with a Lamar Pope. Like, subscribe. Was good with it, y'all. Put my cash app in the building. Anybody want to support the channel? You know what I'm saying? Y'all like what y'all hear, you like what y'all see. Today we're gonna be talking about Bantus and new development in the East African classical age. Bantus, as their religions changed, you know what I'm saying, context, their cultural religion changed and their concepts of religious thoughts changed as they was contacting different people in Eastern Africa around the lake, the lake regions. Because we've been talking about the Kakazi and the Kusi Bantus, which is the southern Bantus, which is the Kusi, and the northern or northeastern Bantus, which is the Kakazi, which are both of these groups are considered Mashariki Bantus, which means it's Eastern Bantus. Smoking on that red velvet, you hear me? Let me see. He's smoking on them pseudos too, rolling pseudos up in the gulf. The hemp wrapper, that is. Put the cash up in the building. Salute Pure Black. Salute, bro. Appreciate the love, man. You showed me last time. You know what I'm saying? You hit the cash up, appreciate it, bro. You know what I'm saying? There ain't nothing wrong with a little green every day. So we chilling. It's the late night show. You know what I'm saying? It's this Saturday night late. It's the late night Saturday live. This ain't like when we smoke on this show. This ain't like Smash Rockwell show. You know what I'm saying? We can smoke and comprehend. We can do this. We grown people. We smoke responsibly. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what Unc was talking about, but that's Smash not comprehending. You know what I'm saying? That's Smash not comprehending. Don't got nothing to do with this. Nothing to do with this weed. Cause we comprehending over here very well. Comprehending over here very well. And let's get back into it. Let's get into it. You know what I'm saying? We using African Civilization by Christopher Eric. Again, you know what I'm saying? That's the template storyline or the anthropology work that we use a lot on this show. We use other works too, but for as these, but for as a cutout for like migrations and all that, like the civilization of Africa is a very good. I recommend getting that book. It's a very good model, timelines and all that for African history. Let's get to it. Even last time we talked about like the priesthood, the chiefhood and the priesthood of the Bantus. Some of the sections we talked about. We also talked about the contact they have with the Khoisan. We talked about the cultural societies of the Kakazi and the Kusi. We talked about that. And then we got into the kingdom and the chieftain, which is still based on the Mukumo style chieftain, which is like a theme, like a chieftain and a priesthood theme that goes all throughout Niger Congo culture that the Bantus carry. even though some of the aspects changed a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Even amongst other Niger Congos, they're always gonna be literally the same, but it changed. It changed a lot, even when these Eastern Bantus was intermingling and with other East African groups like Nilo-Saharan groups, some of the Southern Cushitic groups. You know what I'm saying? So some of the aspects of their religion changed a little bit, even though it still had the same principle, foundation, or theme as most Niger Congo, religions have, or ancestral veneration. Am I sharing? I don't think I'm sharing my screen. Hold on. I'm sharing my screen real quick. I got the source. Here we go. All right, now get into it. Chapter was it? Here we go. East African Classical Age. It's that pottery I was talking about. We couldn't show it last time. The picture wasn't showing up that time. But the Uriri variety of the Chifumbanzi culture. The Kusi, Kakazi, Bantu, and the Navu. Talk about that. Chieftains. So right here we got. I'm just a little brief. What we talking about the king, the priesthood. This ties into this going to segue into uh yeah, he said Cali Green keep me pseudo free. Hell yeah, they do. Hell yeah, dude. But yeah, I'm gonna segue this into the religion. You know what I'm saying? You talk about the chiefhood. We'll talk about this a little bit. I'm gonna go over this one more time. It's gonna segue into the religion. You know what I'm saying? I talked about this last time, but I'm just freshening up some, fresh you up. The last show, we didn't even get into the band too. We talked about race and things of that nature. You know, so that was a good show too. I'm gonna do more of that too. I'm gonna pick a different day other than Saturday. Saturday, I'm gonna continue, the African migrations and things like that. You know what I'm saying? For us, that aspect of anthropology. But like other days, I'm gonna get more to other parts of sciences and things of that nature. I'm gonna try to pick a day. You know what I'm saying? A different day other than Saturday. Probably Friday and Saturday, or maybe Saturday and Sunday, something like that. Okay. Okay. They say chiefs and kin among the Kusi and the Kaskazi Bantus. If y'all didn't know who these people were, what I'm saying, Kusi and the Kaskazi, these are Bantu groups. The Kusi is the more southern Bantus, and the Kaskazi is the northeastern Bantus, or the more northern Bantus. Now, not northwest, not northeast Africa, but like just more northeast. You know what I'm saying? For us, like that lake region in southeast Africa. Make the screen a little bigger. There we go. Okay, chiefs and kin among the Kusi and the Kakazi. An apparent consequence of scattering out Kaskazi and Kusi communities across East and Southeastern Africa was a decrease in the scale of the political and social organization. We talked about, I'm just redoing this. We talked about this. If people, people didn't, see the other show, but it's a among most of these peoples, the double descent system of their Savannah Bantu and early Mashariki ancestor, consisting of matral clans and matrilineages, and less important patrilineages, was replaced either by consistently matrilineal kingship or else. In some areas, such as among Great Lake Bantus, by patrilineal reckoning of descent, which they most likely got from like other groups like the, say the Nilo-Saharan groups and the South Cushitic group. And you get right here too, if y'all know to refresh your memory too, that the Savannah Bantus or the ancestor of the Mashariki Bantu, because the Mashariki is a branch off, or one of the branches off of the Savannah Bantus. And then the Lake Bantus, of course, you know what I'm saying, the Mashariki Bantus or the Lake Bantus. Or Lake Bantus, or should I say, the Lake Bantus are one of the Mashariki Bantu. You have Masharikis that necessarily live around the lakes, some still residing around some of the eastern rivers. And they say the two level kinship structure of ancestral Mashariki society with clans and lineages persisted among those Great Lakes communities, although shifting to a patrilineal basis. But in many of the in many of the distant areas of new settlement, we suspect the new Kaskazi and the Kuzi communities may at first have reconstructed themselves around just one level of kinship, the clan. The clan groupings that took shape in the descent new lands of settlement must often have been uh, heterogeneous origins. I mean, it was heterogeneous. I mean, it coming from the same source. Sure. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm tripping. I'm tripping. Homogeneous. I'm tripping. I always get the two confused. Homogeneous when it comes from the same source, but heterogeneous when it comes from a diversity. And they say clan groupings that took shape in descent, new lands settlement must often have been heterogeneous origins. The Mashariki expansion at the turn of the era from BCE to CE would rarely have involved large clan-sized groups of people. Instead, the expansion uh, must time and again have thrown together in a new descent locality smaller groupings of families of different clan and regional origins. In this situation, the familiar kingship items and the settlers brought with them would have uh, predisposed predisposed them to view themselves as members of the same clan simply because they now inhabit the same territory. As the new community grew, the early inhabitants of the region would also be incorporated into the emerging society. Sometimes the indigenous people would have joined one of the newly created clans. At another times, they would have been created as if their herding or hunting band formed clan of its own, and in this way would have been assimilated as as a group into the new Kaskazi in the Kusi society. They're basically just saying like how other groups of Africans from from different ethnic clusters, would have merged into the clans or the clanship of these Bantus or the Bantus, certain areas would have went into like their clans. So that some of the people that was already in some of these East African regions. And they say, similarly, the two corresponding levels of early Mashariki kingship generally failed to survive the expansion of communities new into into new and distant lands. Among the ancestral Njambi, for example, chiefship seems to have been reconstituted on a new basis, with the heads of the early Kazakazi family in the region claiming chiefship by the right of their being the first settlers. Among a number of other societies, the office of the Mokumo, we talked about that earlier amongst the Bantus and the Chicago culture, period. You know what I'm saying? That this style or this thing or the chief of this chieftain thing, of the model of the Mokumo persisted throughout. Not that persisted, although not that the Imwami and the idea of the chief, an idea of the chief as the owner of the quote unquote owner of his or her peoples, and the importance of the chief in initiating yearly rites of planting. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Yeah, I'm back, fam. My daughter had called me. I'm back. I'm back. Yeah, though. Who is that? But yeah, though it said among the societies, among the other societies, the offers of the Makumo persisted, although not that of the Mwami. The idea of the chief as the quote unquote owner of his people, of his or her people, and the importance of the chief initiating the yearly rites of planting and harvesting also remained a wide acceptance. And they say why chiefship should have become less complex is not hard to understand. The kin chiefs' power depended on their relationships with the ancestors of their communities. And in the early Mashariki belief system, those ancestors resided where the community had long resided. To leave the home village was to leave the lands where a chief had an established relationship with the ancestors buried there. The smaller unit, the lineage, or the large part of it was to impact enough community, to be able often to move over a long distance, long distance together. In those cases, the chiefship of the lineage of the Mokumo might have been reestablished in new lands by undertaking ritual and cancellation with the ancestor spirit of the previous inhabitants. But the whole clan but the whole clan and Mwami role could not so easily be carried long distance. Almost everywhere there were that the new Kaskazi and the Kuzi expansions went into centuries between 300 BCE to 300 CE. A lesser complexity of kinship thus came into being that had been non that had been known among Mashariki their forebears. See how it changed from the Mokumo to the Imwame, which is similar but it's a little different. Change. And it said because of this history, only among the Great Lake Bantu societies who remain in the Great Lakes regions did the position of the Imwami survive. Interestingly, though the Bakumo the plural of Mokumo of that region already by around the 4th century BCE had ceased to be recognized as lineage heads. A new class of chiefs, the Bakolo, instead became the local kin group leaders under the Imwami. We do not know for sure just what was going on in this case. On the plausible explanation is that the Ba'ami, plural for Imwame, among the Great Lakes Bantu communities had been able to take on new level political authority by around 300 BCE, such that they became able to remove the competing authority of the Bukumo and replace it with the new subordinate position of the Bakulo, appointed to their position by the Bakwami. The ritual authority of the former Bakumo was not easily dismissed. However, it appeared that the former lineage heads found another cultural sphere of exercising that the authority Mokumo became the new term in the Great Lakes band in the proto Great Lake Bantu for the ancient Niger Congo role of Dr. Divine. That was the same, so that's what I said. It changed, but it still had that same theme, that Niger Congo theme or the base of the Dr. Divine ancestral veneration, ancestor connection of a chieftain or a priest chief. Let me get into the now. We're finna get into new developments in religious thoughts. For us Bantus and East African classical age. Right here it say, at 2 points in the first millennium BCE, significant modifications of religious belief apparently also came into being in certain parts of Eastern and Southern Africa. First of these developments appear in wide adoption of Kaskazi peoples in the Middle Mashariki period, 700 to 500 BCE, of a new word for God, 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 Molongo. This new term derived from an older Bantu verb, long, to become fitting, become straight. This variation tells us that during the first half of the first millennium BCE, many Kaskazi communities took up an additional conceptualization of the creator God of early Bantu religion as the one who put things in their proper order. This view might super super uh, super particularly super. I'm sorry. This view might superficially seem similar to the concept of divinity we attribute to the Eastern Sahelian neighbors of the early Mashariki, the Sab and the Rub. And these Eastern Sahelian people are not these Nilo-Saharians. You know what I'm saying? Nilotic people. You know what I'm saying? Nilos. East Sudani. These are people that they learned, you know what I'm saying, adopted some of these traditions from and put it into their own. And they say, who saw divinity as the source of the divine judgment or retribution of wrongdoing. But the metaphor encapsulates the Molongo as probably no more than an extension of the older Bantu conception of God as the creator and to include the creation of right order of being as well as the outward material world in which human beings find themselves. From all the rest, of the indication available to us, the older Bantu conceptions of the creator as a remote figure seems still to have been present among the Mashariki and the people of the first millennium BCE. An even more significant shift in religious ideas, but of less geographically wide impact. Yeah, but of less geographical wide impact became about 1000 BCE in one part of East Africa. Rift Rift Southern Kushites, including the ancestors of the Tali people, uh, seems to have uh, innovated a new kind of celestial metaphor for the concept of divinity. The original, the original Southern Cushitic word for God and divinity was uh, Waka. You know what I'm saying? And that's the Southern Kush. Even in the Southern Kush, that's the Eastern Cushitic original creator. You know what I'm saying? Divinity deity, Wak or Waka. You know what I'm saying? They had, the Southern Kushites had the same thing. As they are, they even the Oromo worship Waka or Wak. You know what I'm saying? Where they say the original Southern Cushitic word for God or divinity was Waka, which also meant sky. The Rift communities replaced the word with a new term derived from the word for sun, quote unquote sun. The change did not did not mean that they actually identified divinity as the sun or as sun god, but rather that they had began for reasons as yet unknown to view the power of the sun in the daily lives as a more habit way symbolically expressing the power of divinity in nature. So even the Southern Kushite, they some of their customs change in these regions. You said Southern Kushite. Southern Kushites like the Tali people. I don't know if you never heard of Southern Kushite, but the Southern Kushites or the East African pastoral cultures that was in Kenya and Tanzania. You know what I'm saying? I think I talked about these Southern Cushitic migrations before. I'm gonna have to do a show. I don't think I did a whole show on it though. But the Southern Cushites, you know what I'm saying? They were the ones that traveled to, you know what I'm saying, Southeast Africa, even earlier than the Bantu or the Nilotic groups. They actually introduced pastoralism to the Khoi or the Khoisan. And the Southern Cushitic or like the Iraqi or the Kali. You know what I'm saying? The Tali. I mean, there's another language called the Rif language. These are the Southern Kushites. You know what I'm saying? They came down from the Horn. You know what I'm saying? Split from the Eastern Cushitic groups. You know, so you got different Cushitic branches. You got Northern Cushitic, Central Cushitic, Eastern Cushitic, and then even Eastern Cushitic breaks down to Highland. What's that? Lowland Eastern Cushitic. Then you got Highland Eastern Cushitic. Then you got Southern Cushitic. See where he say it. See, he said the Rift Southern Kushites, including the ancestors of the Tali people, seem to have innovated a new kind of celestial metaphor for the concept of divinity. The original Southern Kushites word for God or divinity was Waka, which also meant the sky. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the Iraqi, yeah. Yeah. Look it up. see something real quick. But sometimes Christopher Eric, sometimes groups have multiple names that they call themselves. But sometimes Christopher Eric, he'll use one of them names, but they'll still be probably talking about a familiar group that you do know of. Yeah, he's probably one of them type of groups. Let me see. Let me go Southern Cushitic. Let me go Southern Cushitic languages. Yeah, Charlie probably is a Rocky. Harley is a Rocky. He's just calling it that. And then you got a language called Tati. You probably talking about Tati. They say Tati is an extinct pair of Southern Cushitic languages spoken by Cushitic people inhabiting the Tati Hills of Kenya before they were assimilated into Bantu populations after the Bantu migrations into East Africa. Evidence of the languages is primarily South Cushitic loanwords in Bantu languages, Dawida and Sagala, as well as oral tradition of Dawada and Sagala. Could probably be talking about that language. Yeah, you probably talking about that language. But then you say, what he say? Yeah, what he said they switched their deity about the sun. It probably was that language, them, assimilating with Bantus. The Tati, the Tali, probably the same group. They say the change did not mean that they actually identified divinity as the sun or as sun god, but rather that they had begun for reasons as yet unknown to view the power of the sun in their daily lives as a more apt way of symbolically expressing the power of divinity in nature. Then, in the period 800 and 500 BCE, this new Southern Cushitic conceptualism, conceptualization of divinity spread wider to a recently intrusive society, the Proto-Southern Nilotes. And the Proto-Southern Nilotes, or the Nilotic groups, the peoples of this society had moved southern out, southward out of South Sudan around 1000 to 800 BCE. The established themselves into highlands west of Kenya Rift Valley after 500 BCE. The southern Nilos diverged into two daughter societies, the Kalenjin and the Tato. The Tato moving still further south to the Maury Plains and south regions in southern Nilotes came into the influence of Rift Southern Kushites, who already resided in the southern regions. And among the new features of the cultures they had adopted with Southern Kushites inhibited was the new idea of divinity. Oh, he said, fine. What's good with it? What's good with it, Sonic? Yeah, I'm talking. And then right here it say the Southern Nilos came into influence of the Rift Southern Kushites, who already resided in South regions, and among the new features of the culture that they adopted from Southern Kushite inhibited was the new idea of divinity. Then toward the end of the first millennium BCE, this came this same new conception of new divinity spread still further to a number of Kaskazi Bantu communities who at the same were settling among eastern and southern sides of Lake uh, Inyanza, which is Lake Victoria for some. This is the lake that they call Lake Victoria. The actual name is Lake Inyanza. And they say there they were neighbors of southern Tali, southern Kushites, and also Tato branch of southern Nile. See, the Tali must be synonymous with the Tati, the extinct, the southern Cushitic languages that went extinct in Kenya that I just read off of Wikipedia. If you look it up, it's an extinct language and assimilated amongst Bantu groups. And probably was some Nilos there, like he's saying, it's Nilos there too. The Tato, also the Tato branch of Southern Nilos. Their adoption of sun metaphor is apparent in the reapplication of the ancient Bantu term for sun, liamba, as a new word for their creator god, replacing the term molongo, adopted. Replacing the term molongo, adopted a new hundred years earlier. Under underpinning of the name change as a new important for God in religious rights, for God in religious rights of the community, and a view of God as more actively acceptable form of spirit than the earlier Mashariki and Proto-Bantu religion. The interesting feature of this particular religious change was the linkage of divinity and the sun was very much a regional cross-cultural development. It appeared first among the West Rift Southern Kushite people, possibly no earlier than around 1000 BCE. These people included the various Tale communities who lived at the period all across the Mari Plains. And another closely related Southern Cushitic society in the nearby Mbulu uh, highlands of northern central Tanzania. The Iraqi, see, it's the Iraqi people who live in Mbulu today are the direct descendants of the latter people. The Iraqi people who live in Mbulu today are the direct descendants of the latter people. The subsequent spread of this conceptualization of divinity in the second half of the millennium compassed a large contiguous stretch of country expanding southward from Mari Plains to Usangishu Plateau, all lands of the southern Nilos. By the 5th century BCE, the westward at the same time from there to the southern shores of the lake in Yanza, where the Tale Southern Kushites lived, and the southern early Mashariki communities had settled. Among all the peoples of the wide region, whatever the cultural roots or language affiliation, the same religious ideas took hold. And this rise intriguingly issued about the cause. About the cause and the dynamics of religious change and pre-literate eras issued at the same. At the remain to be explored by historians. Yeah, man. So that's it, man. That's my presentation on Bantu new developments in East, East African classical age. And next week we're gonna get into the commercial revolution and its consequence in East Africa. Yeah, I played a role a lot with the Bantus too. You know what I'm saying? It's like we'll talk about like the oceanic trades in the Indian Ocean, the Swahili and all that. That's what we're doing in Adam. No, I'm gonna make this a short show though. I ain't trying to be too long tonight. Chilling, vibing, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. Yeah, put the Zoom in the chat. Yeah, Serial, yes, Sario Naladic, not even an actual. I don't know who said that. Yeah, he lying on Soy Kieta. I think we got less. I think we got less time. I think we got less time to stream the studio, but they ain't actually reading and studying the shit. We actually got to take time out to study and read this shit. They don't even read the shit. They be freestyling, microwaving. They be microwaving. Yeah, they was partially. Yeah, yep, yep. They was partially melodic for sure. They was melodic, partially. They was partially melodic, partially Northern Cushitic, which is like the Beja type, C group, A group type people, and they also were, Northern Eritrea people who was mixed with Eastern Iber Marusian type people. You know what I'm saying? Basi raisins. Then you had the Anatolian farmers come in later. You know what I'm saying? The Middle Paleocene and all that shit. A whole lot of layers to it. Yeah, but I'm finna dip out, man. Yeah, hit the link. Yeah, he can hit the link if you want to. You got some questions. Yeah, no such thing as no sorry, melodic. People, he wild. I don't know where he got that from. If you're back, I don't know where he got that from, man. Never heard of that. Yeah, man. I'll probably get back and start. I'm gonna read a little bit more shit too. Once I get off here. Yeah, you good, man. You good. Get your food, bro. You good, bro. I'm chilling, man. He lying on Soy Kieta, boy. You don't read Soy Kieta work like that. So he never said nothing like no Sorios, Naladi. He said Nilo Saharian. Nilo Saharian, that's what it is. Melodic, Melodic is a branch of Nilo Saharian. Melodic groups or a branch is a branch group of Nilo Saharian groups. Yeah, never heard of that term, bro. Yeah, man. Appreciate y'all coming on, rocking with me, man. We'll get into it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have a longer show next time. We're gonna get into this commercial revolution and its consequences in East Africa. That's a banker right there. That's a real banker right there. Yeah, though, man. I'm out, man. Peace. Appreciate y'all. Hit like, subscribe. Yeah, hit the like button, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Hit the cash app if y'all can. You know what I'm saying? Peace out. See y'all next week, man. Holla at me.